Young alien girl loved a human. He said, "Return when you're grown." So she did. The twin suns of Elari's prime cast a golden hue over the crystalline spires of the capital city, their light refracting through the translucent architecture in a dazzling display. Amidst the bustling avenues and hovering transports, a young alien girl named Lyra navigated the crowd with practiced ease. Lyra, a member of the Elari species, possessed features that were both ethereal and captivating. Her skin shimmered with a subtle iridescence, and her eyes, large and luminescent, held a depth that belied her years. At just 17 cycles old, she was considered on the cusp of adulthood by Elari standards. Today was significant. The Intergalactic Cultural Exchange Program was hosting a delegation from Earth, and Lyra had been selected as one of the youth ambassadors. Her heart fluttered with anticipation, not just for the honor, but for the chance to meet humans, beings she had studied and admired from afar. As she approached the grand auditorium, she spotted the human delegation disembarking from their sleek vessel. Among them was a man who immediately drew her attention. Tall, with a confident stride and a warm smile, he introduced himself as Commander Jason Reed. Throughout the day's events, Lyra found herself gravitating towards Jason. They discussed art, philosophy, and the intricacies of their respective cultures. Jason was patient and attentive, treating her not as a curious alien, but as an equal. As the evening drew to a close, Lyra gathered her courage and approached Jason privately. "Commander Reed," she began, her voice steady. "I feel a connection between us. I know I'm young by human standards, but I would like to explore this bond further." Jason looked at her kindly, a hint of sadness in his eyes. "Lyra, you're an incredible individual, and I'm honored by your feelings. But humans have different customs and perceptions of age. Perhaps when you're older, we can revisit this conversation." Lyra nodded, determination replacing disappointment. "Very well. I will return when I'm grown." With that, she turned and walked away, setting in motion a journey that would span years and challenge the very fabric of interstellar relations. The vastness of space stretched endlessly before Lyra as she embarked on her journey aboard the Elari vessel Stellar Dawn. The stars shimmered like distant promises, each one a beacon of hope and challenge. Lyra's heart was a mix of determination and apprehension, fueled by the memory of Commander Jason Reed's words. "Perhaps when you're older, we can revisit this conversation." Determined to bridge the cultural and emotional gap between their species, Lyra immersed herself in human studies. She devoured literature, music, and historical accounts, seeking to understand the nuances of human emotions and relationships. Her quarters became a sanctuary of human artifacts, each item a testament to her commitment. However, the path was fraught with challenges. The Elari High Council, upon learning of her intentions, expressed concerns about the implications of such a union. They feared the potential political ramifications and the dilution of Elari traditions. Lyra faced opposition not just from her own people, but also from factions within the human alliance who viewed interspecies relationships with skepticism. Undeterred, Lyra sought allies. She connected with other Elari, who had formed bonds with humans, learning from their experiences and gathering insights. Together, they formed a coalition advocating for interspecies understanding and acceptance. Their efforts led to the establishment of the Intergalactic Cultural Exchange Symposium, a platform for open dialogue and collaboration. As the symposium approached, tensions escalated. Extremist groups from both species threatened to disrupt the event, viewing it as a betrayal of their respective cultures. Security measures were heightened, and Lyra found herself at the center of a political maelstrom. In the face of adversity, Lyra remained resolute. She addressed the symposium with eloquence and passion, sharing her journey and the profound connection she felt with Jason. Her words resonated, touching hearts and challenging prejudices. Meanwhile, Jason, stationed on a distant outpost, received news of Lyra's endeavors. Moved by her dedication and the risks she took, he began to question his own reservations. He initiated communication, expressing his admiration and a desire to reunite. Their reunion was both joyous and poignant. Years had passed, and both had grown, not just in age but in understanding. Together they navigated the complexities of their bond, facing societal scrutiny and personal doubts. Yet their shared experiences and unwavering commitment fortified their relationship. As they stood together hand in hand, addressing a gathering of Elari and humans, they symbolized a new era of unity and mutual respect. Their love story became a beacon, inspiring countless others to look beyond differences and embrace the possibilities of connection. The Grand Hall of the Intergalactic Council buzzed with anticipation as delegates from various species gathered to witness a historic event. Lyra, now a poised and confident ambassador of the Elari, stood at the center, her gaze fixed on the entrance. The doors opened, revealing Commander Jason Reed, his presence commanding and serene. Their eyes met and a silent understanding passed between them. Years had transformed them both, molding their youthful infatuation into a mature bond forged through trials and resilience. As they approached each other, murmurs rippled through the assembly. The union of a human and an Elari was unprecedented, challenging long-held beliefs and traditions. Yet the sincerity in their expressions silenced dissent, replacing skepticism with curiosity. Suddenly, a blaring alarm shattered the moment. Holographic screens displayed a fleet of unidentified ships approaching at alarming speed. The council erupted into chaos, delegates scrambling for information. Lyra and Jason exchanged a glance, their diplomatic roles momentarily set aside. Together they coordinated with security, analyzing the threat. The intruding fleet, it turned out, belonged to a rogue faction opposing interspecies alliances. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lyra proposed a daring plan to confront the faction leaders directly. Appealing to their sense of reason and shared history, Jason volunteered to accompany her, emphasizing the strength of unity. Aboard a neutral vessel, they approached the rogue fleet under a flag of truce. Tension hung thick as they boarded the enemy ship, facing leaders hardened by years of isolation and prejudice. Lyra spoke passionately, recounting the journey that led her to this point, highlighting the potential of collaboration over conflict. Jason added his perspective, emphasizing the benefits of shared knowledge and mutual respect. Their words stirred something in the faction leaders, igniting memories of past alliances and the prosperity they brought. After hours of deliberation, a tentative agreement was reached, a ceasefire and the initiation of dialogue. Returning to the council, Lyra and Jason were met with a standing ovation. Their bravery and diplomacy had averted a potential war, setting a precedent for future interspecies relations. In the days that followed, collaborative projects blossomed, blending Elari technology with human ingenuity. Lyra and Jason's relationship became a symbol of unity, inspiring countless others to look beyond differences and embrace shared futures.